So back pain is not sciatica. Back pain is simply just back pain, but sciatica is pain here, here, and coming down the leg along the sciatic nerve distribution because of a pinched sciatic nerve. In this video, I'm going to run through the two different types of sciatica. I'm going to teach you exactly how to figure out which type of sciatica you've got, and then we're going to run through the different exercises that you need to do to fix that sciatica and get pain-free. So the first type of sciatica, that is coming from the lower back. So in the lower back type of sciatica, we could have a disc bulge or prolapse pressing on a nerve. We could have a bit of wear and tear through the area, disc degeneration, and that creates a pressure on the sciatic nerve in the lowest part of the back, which then sends it down the leg. Now, we know we've got we know we've got sciatica, this type here, this type 1, if when you bend forwards, you get back pain and it increases that sciatica. If you've got back pain with sciatica, there's a good chance you've got that there. If you've got a history of back pain, when you bend and twist, it causes pain here, and then you get the sciatica, that's more likely coming from the lower back. That's type 1. The exercises that we need to do to fix that is, number 1, we need to decompress your spine. So decompression. Now think of it like this. This is the disc, and if that's pressing on the nerve, if you squeeze it more, it's going to bulge out further and press on the nerve more. We need to traction and decompress your spine to take pressure off the nerve. And the way we're going to do that, there's a few ways to do it. Number 1, simply sit on a chair, hands on the edge, hips off, and let your hips drop. So the weight of my hips are dropping down, tractioning through, and that's taking pressure off the disc, which takes pressure off the nerve. And you simply do that for about a minute, 30 seconds to a minute, every single day, or multiple times throughout the day, to be honest. The next way is going to a desk or kitchen counter, elbows on the kitchen counter, let your hips hang off. So the weight of your hips is going to hang, and that again is going to traction through. It looks a little bit like this. So elbows on, and then hips hanging there, and then you can just rock your hips like this. And what that will do is it will basically traction out your spine and then articulate under traction, which takes a lot of pressure off the disc, which will take pressure off that nerve and give you good relief. And that will speed up that healing process. Now, the next thing we're going to do, if you've got lower back pain and sciatica, or type 1 sciatica, which is sciatica coming from the lower back, is we're going to make sure that we do some flossing. Now, flossing is basically where you move the nerve or traction the nerve against the pinched area. Because if you think of it like this, if you've got a pinched nerve here, you can of course take pressure off the pinch with the tractioning or decompression, but we also want to move that nerve at that pinch point to try and free things up and just relieve the discomfort. So flossing basically is where you move your leg to stretch the sciatic nerve, and in stretching the nerve, you're just stretching it and pulling it against the pinch point, which frees up the pinched area. So you can do it like this. You can sit and extend your leg all the way out if this is the painful leg. And as you do that, look up to allow that nerve to come all the way down. And then you flex your leg and look down, and the nerve does the opposite. It goes up that way. And then you extend and look up, and it brings the nerve down and then down like this. And you just simply do this. Now, it doesn't feel like it's doing much, but believe me, it's moving that nerve against a pinch spot. And this is a very, very common way to relieve sciatica. Another way you can do it is this. You're going to lie on your back. And then I want you to have this leg here and extend all the way up, all the way down. So again, you can see we're extending and flexing the knee, which is stretching the nerve down through here and moving the nerve against the pinch point. So if you can do decompression and flossing, you're giving yourself a really good chance to take that pressure off the nerve in the lowest part of the back and get yourself feeling and moving better. Now, type 2, the second type of sciatica, is a very different thing, but you're still going to get sciatica from the problem. If you have no back pain at all, so when you bend forwards, no back pain, you can bend forward and twist, you can pick things up, no back pain, no sciatica. However, you get pain starting there, so not the back pain, but there in the buttock and then going down the leg. And when you're sat for a long period of time, it starts to build up in this area and increase the sciatica. You may well have what we call piriformis syndrome. That's basically where the piriformis muscle that crosses this area here and can press on that nerve because it gets tight will create sciatica. So the sciatic nerve passes right past this piriformis muscle deep in the buttock, and when it gets tight, it pinches on the nerve, sends pain down the leg. So what we're going to do is we're going to, number 1, give you a stretch for that piriformis muscle. So with this one, you're going to bring this leg to here, let that knee drop, and then lean yourself forwards. And when I do this, I can definitely feel a stretch in that buttock area. The The good thing with this is that if you're in this position, you can just stay there for a good 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes every single day or a few times a day, and that will stretch out that piriformis muscle and take pressure off the sciatic nerve. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to show you that same exercise in a different position. So you may well have seen it like this, and then you pull up through to there. So it's a similar thing. It's doing the exact same thing for that piriformis. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to run through one more way that you can release off that piriformis muscle, take pressure off the area and relieve pressure on the sciatic nerve, and that is with inhibition. Now, inhibition or ischemic compression trigger point therapy basically means getting pressure right into the muscle, and it's going to be very painful, but you hold it there until the pain starts dropping down. So it would look like this. You'd get a ball, you'd place it on the floor, and then you would sit on it. So you'd sit on it on a ball or a chair, and you move around until you find a really sore spot right in that buttock, deep in the buttock area, and you might even feel pain increasing down the leg. You hold that there, and as you hold it there, the pain just starts to ease off. And then you move to a new area, you find another hot spot, you pause on it, it's super painful, but you hold it there until you feel the pain dropping down again, and then move again. So you're going to be doing that 4 or 5 times all through this area. It might take 30 seconds to a minute for that pain to drop down. If it doesn't drop after a minute, just move on to the next spot and try a different area. And that's a fantastic way to take pressure off that piriformis muscle, which will then take pressure off the sciatic nerve, which will give you less sciatica. Now, if you can't figure out which type of sciatica you've got, type 1 or type 2, because you haven't necessarily got an obvious it starts there or it starts there, it's sort of just a general pain going down the leg, then I would suggest you just do all the exercises, because they're not going to make things worse, but what they will do is they'll just target everything and hopefully get you feeling and moving better. So as I say, if you can't figure out what sciatica you've got, do all the exercises and I'm sure you'll get some good relief. Now, the next thing to say is if you would like help with this, go down into the comment section, leave me a comment and I'll do what I can to help you. And let's get rid of your sciatica and get you feeling and moving back to your best, because you can get rid of it, but you need to be consistent with the exercises.